Okay. Hey,
Hi.
welcome back. Today, Kyra and I are going to be having a conversation about a subject that's really important to women as we get to this stage of life. This may be more for the gals, maybe for men who are curious about what their wives are going through, or maybe for, I don't know who else would have interest.
Um, the majority would be females and men who are just interested in supporting and maybe being patient and learning
Yeah.
alongside us.
Yes.
But yeah, we're going to be talking about menopause today and kind of how we are transitioning, I guess.
Yeah, our experiences, and then being curious about, like, in the comments, if you're hear anything that maybe we're talking about that doesn't make sense to you, or that you have questions about, or think we need further research or details that you know that we don't,
Right.
we would be happy to learn more about that.
Yeah, we're not medical professionals. We are just discussing what we've gone through, what we have experienced, what other women have shared with us, and possibly we can suggest a few things that I'm trying or that we've heard has been successful with other people.
Right.
So,
Or that I'm trying.
yeah, exactly. So, so the average age of menopause is 51 in America, but you can start anywhere in your 40s and in anywhere in your mid 50s to late 50s. And so I'm early 50s,
And I'm 56.
yeah.
And so mid 50s, and I have not had a menstrual cycle since June of last year, June 2022. So,
And I used to be like clockwork until February. Yeah, so February I missed a cycle, and it kind of I was like, oh no, is this
congratulations!
I guess. I don't know if I would call it congratulations because yes, it is. It has been shown that women who tend to go into menopause later in life have a less of a risk of having heart issues or heart attacks. So the fact that you are just now, maybe finishing up is a positive thing because you're close to 60, and that's good. That means you probably have a better heart health than someone who may be going through it in their 40s. And so that's just something you can look into yourself if you feel concerned about it, or it is just something I looked up and saw that women who start menopause later in life tend to have less heart issues.
yeah, I was just talking to someone yesterday. She just completed the 12 months. So basically, menopause is complete, and when you have not had a cycle at all, no spotting, nothing for an entire 12 months. But if you spot even once, the clock starts over, according to medical professionals.
Right.
So,
Which
if
can be
you,
discouraging for some people who want to be done, I guess.
I like have 2 months with nothing, and then get like a little spotting. I'm like, ah. But June was official. Like, I haven't had any since then. And it's been, to me, I was, I don't know. I'm very much a person who kind of likes to see transitions happening, and so it's a kind of an exciting thing for me to know that I've reached this stage, like,
Yeah.
that I'm here.
So you're looking forward to what it may be like afterwards.
Yeah, like, it's been fun or normal now. Now, I have heard from listening to other podcasts from medical professionals, doctors, that say that you can continue to have like problems.
Yeah,
for
hot
a long-
flashes. I have a friend. She is 69, and she says she still has hot flashes, and also she knows some women who had them into their 80s. So
Oh,
yeah,
I'm not looking forward
so
to that.
I don't know anything else about them. I know my friend. She yeah. I better not, just in case she watches this. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know what their life is like. So um, people who tend to eat more of a plant-based diet, they have less of those symptoms than people who are not as active.
Are you noticing any symptoms now?
Well, I started right when I told you guys that I missed my first one. It hit me like a train. I had barely had anything ever. Thought, oh, I don't even know what people are talking about when they're waking up with sweats, and I was like thankful. I was just like, oh, sometimes I have to toss off my blanket, but that was very rare. And then when I didn't have a cycle, I mean, I felt like I was on fire almost every day. I was like, whoa, I'm always so hot. I don't understand what's going on. And it was really discouraging. I wasn't having night sweats like people that we know, people who say they're drenched.
I had night sweats.
Yeah, I don't have
I
those
still
yet.
a little bit too.
Yeah, I don't have that. I just wake up kind of warm and think, oh yeah, good thing the fan's on, and I toss off my blanket. But during the day, especially it's hot today, well, I haven't had any. But before, if it were a warm day last month, then I would be, pouring sweat on my face and just sweating profusely all over my body and thinking, whoa, is this what I'm in for? So it was kind of scary. So I'll discuss later after she talks about hers a little more about what I've been doing and now not really experiencing many hot flashes at all because of what I heard from a doctor that I listened to and how I've been changing just one thing that I do, and it seems to be helping. Yeah.
Ooh, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I called them power surges instead of hot flashes as much. I did not notice anything.
Well, I just have to interrupt there because I didn't feel powerful when I was having those things. I felt very aggravated and uncomfortable, and so that was not what I would call a power surge, but that's a positive way to look at it.
Not a power surge like I feel powerful, just like there's just power going through me.
Hot, uncomfortable power.
Yeah, probably.
For me.
For me, because I didn't notice it during the day. So of course everybody's different, right? So Kyra is like really was uncomfortable. For me, I didn't notice it during the day very much. The most I might have to do is take a sweater off. If I'm at work, I might say I'm a little warm, but I take something off. And but most of the time the AC was decent in our building. At night though, that's when I would wake up. I'd have like the sheets are wet, and then I have to get up and cool off, and and then that would, but it wasn't like it would just be enough to just like I throw the covers off. It's almost immediately evaporates, and then I was fine. So I get cold because you're wet, and then I throw the covers back on and think to myself, this is annoying. But yeah, for the most part, it's not like. Some people talk about their sheets being drenched. Mine
I don't think Michelle would mind us using her name, but she said
she's going to be guesting on our thing
in a couple of weeks. Yeah, she would, I think, tell you that she had those intense, night sweats.
Yeah,
so.
And so I'm just saying, for me, it was not the worst experience, and I mean, maybe the worst is yet to come. I don't know. I hope not.
I don't think so. Well, I don't know for certain, but I think typically, from what I was hearing, is that what you're experiencing now, if you're not using anything, it's what it's gonna be generally like. But I don't know. This is just based on
like whatever.
This has nothing to do with me hearing this from a doctor. I just heard this from other women, and that's what they had been experiencing for years, and it hadn't really increased or gotten worse. But I don't really know. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So maybe it'll remain this way. And so, like, I think even last night, it was just a little light. Like, it's the insomnia. Like, some women get really bad insomnia. Mine, it just wakes me up a little bit, but I do a lot of deep breathing as a therapist. Like you saw one of our meditations, I think about just inhaling and just noticing my breath, and at some point I fall back to sleep. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for everybody, but if your symptoms are not extreme, perhaps you could try that to get yourself back to sleep. Just focusing on your breath. That's something that's rhythmic and then eventually, yeah, and calming. And if you are deeply breathing, and then I fell back to sleep.
Right. I haven't had insomnia issues yet. Have you had any irritability or changes in emotion? That's something I've been hearing about too.
No, not at all. I stay pleasant all the time.
If I'm experiencing them, I don't know, and so I'd have to ask my husband and my children to see what they're seeing. But I don't think I've had much of that either. So our mom had cancer when she was 50, so we don't have really anything to base off genetically. What
So we're learning right now.
Right. She's the oldest, so I tend to see what she's going through, and we have another sister who's not present, but she is. I don't think she's having a lot of emotional.
Or if she is, she hasn't shared anything.
Right.
About that.
So we'll have to ask her next time. But yeah, maybe that's just not something that we're going to experience, where you start becoming really irritated. Or what about cognitive abilities? Do you feel like you're losing your memory? Well, you already have memory issues.
I've had memory issues since I was a 10-year-old child.
Yes, absent-minded professor.
That's what my teachers call me, absent-minded professor is. No, it's because I'm easily distractible. I'm not diagnosed with ADHD or anything like that, but I tend to be distractible, or can get easily redirected towards something else that interests me. So for me to forget something is not a huge deal, but what I've been doing my own supplements, and I think trying to incorporate breathing more.
So what are the supplements that you're finding that you think may be helpful? I don't know.
So one of the supplements was from the book I might have mentioned in a previous podcast by Dr. Sarah Gottfried, which is the hormone cure. And one of the recommendations in there, because she has multiple suggestions of things that you can do when you're going through so many hormonal changes, but she said Panax ginseng. So I went to one of the stores where I get my supplements, and there was something there, so I tried it. I don't think that you get an immediate response.
Right.
Like with most things, you have to be consistent and consistently take it.
Natural remedies take time normally, but the one that I'm using, unless it's a placebo effect, which is possible, but there's nothing wrong with a placebo effect, because it's still, it does it. It does the job, and so it's working.
The other thing for cognition that I started taking, which is also supposed to help me with my physical fitness. See, can I?
She likes to show off her muscles. Muscle lady.
My muscles. For it's to give you more power is creatine monohydrate, and so 5 grams. I actually went and saw a sports fitness doctor yesterday, and he was talking about how you should gradually work your way up as you incorporate that into your diet or your routines. But that was starting out like 2 grams and then working your way up to the full 5 grams, and that you have to take plenty of water with it because it can dry you out and impact you in that way. But creatine monohydrate, so 5 grams being the maximum, and you just take that once a day. I don't know, like I said, I only started that like 2.5 weeks ago. So the jury is still out on whether or not it's helping my cognition. But I stay pretty sharp with things, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, especially when it's hard for me to know cognitively, but when it comes to the emotional piece about it, yes, I was definitely more, but I had PMS symptoms too. So
yeah, and I didn't. So I've never had them, or I didn't have them until I had my 3rd daughter. And then I had mild ones, but I didn't really believe that women even went through the types of things because it never affected me. So when someone would miss school because of female problems like cramps or apparently cramps can be really debilitating.
Yes.
And, yeah, I just thought, oh, she's just skipping class or what. But now one of my daughters experiences that, and I thought, okay, I guess this really happens. and I started experiencing like emotional roller coaster type things that didn't occur until after
Ooh, I would cry at the drop of a hat.
Not me.
I cried.
So I didn't have a lot of my cycles were relatively, you know, boring.
I didn't really get cramps, but I definitely would be emotional.
Yeah. So I know another thing that women might get a little nervous about when they're going through this is possibly having heart palpitations. And so
I had that.
Now I did have that as well, and that was in my 40s. Yeah, and so I guess maybe I might have been experiencing something like
Some changes.
yeah, premenopausal changes. I don't, but that was it, and actually that resolved after I like was working on my diet and stuff. So I don't know if that had anything to do with that, but women can experience that, and it's something I guess if you're concerned about, you would go and see your doctor, and they'll refer you to a cardiologist if necessary. But yeah, I think that might be that's like a normal thing, so it's not something to panic about. I don't think.
Well, I think anytime you have something like that, if it concerns you, definitely go see your doctor,
Right.
and then, and let them rule some of those things out. Oh, we got dogs barking next door. They must see something.
Maybe they're
So-
female dogs and they would like to interject
They
about
wanna
their
share-
changes.
Yeah, I don't know anything about dog changes.
I don't either.
That's beyond my scope of practice. So then, so let's see, what else have I done? One of the things that it's interesting is that my last cycle was June, right?
July?
June of
June,
last year.
okay.
July is when I started seeing the trainer.
Ah.
So it's interesting to me that I was just beforehand, I think I did the June walking step challenge or whatever at my one job, but then I was on this, so I actually wondered if my period was like gone because I was being more active, because I know that can happen with female athletes, they can lose their menses.
But I think it
has to be more consistent
Yeah.
than what I was doing.
Not just more consistent, I think it deals too with the diet, not necessarily just working out. Like if you're cutting out protein, a lot of protein, or if you're training for something, so you're vigorously working out all the time. Like just regular workouts, meeting with a trainer like you do once a week, and what do you do, yoga in the morning and something? Yeah, that wouldn't.
Well, at first, that's what I was. Well, initially, when it started happening, I thought, oh, maybe it sent my body into some kind of state where it said, oh, we don't need this right now, and then it
or
would come
could
back.
be that you're 56.
Well, I figured that out after 2 months. Well, because it would go for a couple of months and then come back, go for a month, come back. So I just thought maybe I kick-started something.
Yeah.
But then, of course, yeah, it is because I'm 56. I mean, I'm not thinking it wasn't, but initially I thought, I wonder if I've somehow impacted that.
I think, yeah. I mean, it's a possibility, probably very small, but I think when it has to be like some intensive training.
No, I
in
agree
order
with you.
to-
I agree with you.
But
Yeah.
mine, I don't know, it just stopped. Just stopped, and I thought, oh, and we're getting to the end of this month, so then I'll be 2 full months without one. So I'm like, oh no.
Maybe you might be like back and forth like I was.
I think
Some
that's
women
general-
just stop and that's
okay.
it.
Okay, because I thought that generally that is the way it works, is that you keep fluctuating, like it's here now, it's not
It
here.
depends on what that thing is that you're using that's helping you.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, you want to know what it is?
I do.
Yeah, it's just soy milk. So there's a lot of evidence that shows that soy can help with hot flashes in particular, and that it's got a positive. I know that people hear a lot of negative things about soy because of that it has something that mimics estrogen, and so that is true, but it's a different type of estrogen, and so I can't really explain it. I didn't really look it up that much. I just listened to the one doctor, and I looked at some studies about women in Japan who they have it as a regular part of their diet, and so it's they have less hot flashes, less symptoms than American women. and they have a high plant-based diet as well. And so those two things combined tend to make them have less problems as they transition from, you know, having their cycle to not having their cycle. And I have been taking it for, or drinking it for about 3 weeks now. The first week I didn't really notice anything, but the second week, I mean, it was pretty immediate. So I was surprised. I was like, oh, I'm out in the sun and I'm not sweating, I'm not burning up. Or when I'm working out, when I'm walking on the treadmill, I would be pouring, and now I'm not pouring. I just start to sweat when I've been, you know, like a normal sweat. I'll break out into a normal sweat when I'm walking on the treadmill, instead of just thinking, oh, whoa, I'm like pouring out sweat, which wasn't the norm for me. So I just drink organic soy milk, and I think it's important that it's organic, because in the United States they tend to really mess up the soy crops with you know, it's genetically pesticides, and it's genetically modified, and so I just want to stick to something that I think is going to be a little safer, since it is dealing with my hormones. It's going to be affecting my hormones. I want something as pure as possible. And then the other thing that I've been doing, which obviously for me it's not been affecting my transition, because I've been eating a plant-based diet, pretty much strictly a plant-based diet since January, since the beginning of the year, and that didn't do well. I don't know if it's doing anything or not, because I lost my cycle in February.
Right.
So I don't really know. It's going to be a balance, but the soy milk definitely is helping me. And I just drink a cup to a cup and a half a day, because the doctor I listened to said you don't want to exceed 3 servings, and that would be a half cup each.
I think also in that book that I referenced, that there's a recommendation to also have soy milk.
Okay, yeah.
So I did try to incorporate that. Unfortunately, I don't tend to drink a lot of milk products anyway. Like it's not included in my. So it's rare that I have anything like that.
Okay, yeah. See, I make a smoothie for myself and my family every day, and you just fire a half cup in there.
I need to do that maybe with some of the protein, because the fit trainers are always recommending that I have more protein. So I do have some of that, like plant-based protein.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe try it, see if maybe you'll notice in the evening that you aren't waking up to that
Possibly,
as often during the week.
Or maybe that ginseng will kick in whenever it starts going, but that's supposed to be really healthy too.
Maybe a combination?
Maybe a combination of both. Yeah, that couldn't hurt.
No, I doubt it.
Couldn't hurt. Ginseng is part of the Asian diet as well.
Yeah. They're good. They're good examples when it comes to health in a lot of areas, because I'm sure you guys are all aware of the SAD, standard American diet here, and it's not really helping a lot of women here to consume all these processed foods and the processed meats.
And reduce your caffeine. Reduce your caffeine intake. That was the other thing that was emphasized in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't drink caffeine really, except for green tea, which is very low, and maybe a few times.
And that's fine.
Yeah. So some other things you can do are the BHRT, which is the bioidentical hormone replacement treatments. That's supposed to be I guess something that is natural, that mimics your estrogen for women. I don't know a lot about it, because I tend to try food for everything first. So I try to eat a certain way first, and if that is successful, then I never attempt anything else. So there are people who are for it, and there are people who are kind of against it. There was a time, I think, when the estrogen replacement, whatever they are, the estrogen replacement pills or whatever they were, creams, things like that, they were supposed to be taking, they were having negative side effects, and I think people's heart, they were starting to have heart problems. But these are supposed to be bioidentical, so they're supposed to be less of a risk with that, and they're supposed to be helpful. But like I said, I didn't really look into it a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something you're interested in. It's supposed to be a much healthier alternative. And if you're not going to do food or change your diet, anything like that, then maybe you could look into that from your practitioner.
What have you heard about those patches? I've heard about people getting like an estrogen patch or something like that. And whoever told me about it, they were using it and they said it was the most amazing thing ever. So I don't know anything about
Yeah,
that.
I don't know what it is, and so like I'm it has to be something that is really like as close to natural as possible
They
for
said
me.
it was doing miracles for them. So
Okay.
I'm just saying that for anybody who's thinking, you know what, this other stuff isn't cutting it.
Yeah.
Maybe ask your doctor about like an estrogen patch.
Yeah, and yeah, there's options. I think another thing you can try is stress reduction and overall wellness. So yes, the breathing technique she was talking about. I guess that's less for the
Meditation, prayer.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's less for the hot flashes, but maybe not, because I was listening to a doctor who was saying that stress impacts our bodies in so many different ways, and it could be affecting your hormones and causing more of the hot flashes than you actually know. So
Yes.
if you can reduce stress, the meditation, prayer, just getting out.
Listening to calm music,
Yep.
going on a walk, diaphragmatic
Things that you're
breathing.
going to continually hear on this channel is always stress reduction, trying to take care of yourself. If you've been tuning in, you see that I've been posting the older people at my gym who are really good about staying consistent and going to the gym and saying they feel better, they're more active, it's helping them. And so we're just trying to find ways to help people.
Do the same,
Yeah,
right?
to help people do what we're trying to do. And maybe you know how to do it better. You can tell us, like she said earlier. We're open. We're just learning. We want to co-learn with you. We want to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And if you're somebody who says, you know what, I'm listening to these ladies and I actually have a degree or a license or something like that, and you're like, man, I would love to talk to them, just, reach out to us, send something in the comments, and maybe we could have you interviewed.
Yeah, we could Zoom even if you're not close by in our area. We want to learn, and so that's what life is about, right?
Yep.
Growing and learning and sharing.
Man, sharp.
You ain't that old yet. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. Unless you have any more stories you want to show about or share about going through menopause or.
No, I think that's about it. I mean, if there's anything that you're curious about that you wish we had said more about, then please let us know. We can
So
do
I know
follow-up.
some women do like lose hair. I haven't lost any hair. I don't think she
I've
does.
always had
She's
thin
always
hair.
had thinner. My hair's thin too, but it's just longer, so you can kind of puff it. And because we have curly hair, you can disguise things a lot easier. But
My toupee.
genetically we do have thinner hair. But some women have extreme hair loss during menopause. I've seen it, and it's one of those things that make you feel less confident. And so if you're maybe changing the diet and adding ginseng, soy, maybe multivitamins. I know you say you like to take a multivitamin.
I take a multivitamin every day because the other thing that let's talk about is the fact that women sometimes will lose that valuable lubrication and it reduces your sex drive.
Right.
So if that happens, that multivitamin was recommended by my female trainer when I had her, and that made a huge difference. It made a huge difference. I actually was more willing and interested, and so sometimes it could be
So
just
her
a
husband's
vitamin.
quite happy, very pleased with the more interest in that.
Yeah, and so and it was not uncomfortable because it was literally it was not comfortable, and
Right.
so for me to have that opportunity to be close to him, because I mean, like you said, we're young,
Right.
and so to be able to continue to enjoy these years together.
And I was reading an article in an AA, what is it,
AR-
ARP? Yeah,
ARP.
ARP, the little one that comes in, and it was talking about that you can be sexually active and really enjoy it into your 60s, 70s, and maybe even 80s. So it's not something that is, even though it's told to us, oh yeah, that's, Yeah, that happens. That happens. It's not true. You can still enjoy your partner in that way for a long, long time. And so, yeah, look into that. I don't take multivitamins. I tend to eat a lot of greens and vegetables and mix it into smoothies and I juice. And so I don't feel like I need that yet because I didn't have that issue. I still had the drive and stuff, but I did just now stop hitting my cycle too. So I don't know what that's going to look like in future years. Hopefully that won't be a problem, and then maybe I will look into something like a multivitamin. But yeah, you can enjoy that part of life too for a long, long time.
And that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
For you to be here for a long, long time enjoying life. So.
And that's something else you'll see in the gym interviews is the first question I ask is what motivates you, and each of them pretty much say, I want to live. I want to live longer. I want to be here. They don't even necessarily say they want to be stronger. They just say they want a healthier, longer life. And that's what we're trying to do. We want to have the health span, not just the lifespan. We want that health span.
Ooh, and is that something you made up?
No. That's
okay. I was going to say, patent that.
No, that is in the plant-based world. So if you follow a lot of people who are vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian, and I'd probably say I'm more of a pescatarian, then you will find that those people are seeking to have a healthier lifespan, but they want to call it their health span because you want that cognitive ability, you want the strength, you want the flexibility, you want to feel like you did when you were younger, but you're 80 and you still can say, hey, let's go for a little run.
God.
Or
yes.
Yeah, my dad is 80 and he still gets out and walks every day and he tries to stay healthy. He doesn't go to the gym.
He's really good.
And our mother's 77 and she's
still working.
She's got that brain is still as sharp as a whip, and she's active. I think she could be a little more active, but she is active, and they've always really eaten well because of their background. The way she was raised, she was taught to eat a lot of beans, and beans are great. Legumes, beans, those things you can get all the protein you need from in your diet. So anyway, we won't go down that route. We're talking about menopause. We can talk about that another day because I'm very passionate about that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, but we're just trying to have a better health span. We want to get older. We want to enjoy our lives, even when we're transitioning like this. We want to still be able to feel like those young, saucy women that we used to be.
We still young and sassy.
Yeah.
Not saucy, but sassy.
I'm saucy.
I'm sassy.
I'm a spicy sauce.
Hi, I'm sassy. She's
and I'm
saucy. So, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to share. We really would love to hear from all of you. If there's something that resonated with you, or you thought like these ladies are off on a tangent somewhere,
we probably were.
Just share it with us because we want to improve, obviously, and we want to learn, like my sister said. So,
yeah.
Thanks, Kyra, for your time today.
And thank you for your time, dear sister, because we have to meet up. So we don't live next to each other. I live almost an hour from her.
Yeah.
But if you like our content, please like and share this video with other women. Like it, leave a comment. We will respond immediately. So not immediately, but within a day, we'll respond to you guys.
Yeah.
So, and any topic ideas that you want us to talk about, and just hear us rant or not rant, or we have other topics that we're going to be bringing up. And be prepared. We're about to do a challenge with our sister-in-law.
Ooh, that's coming up.
It's going to be interesting. My daughters are much younger and they want to see this because it's going to be like a strength challenge.
We're going to assess where we are.
Yeah, she's got a trainer. I don't have a trainer, and my sister-in-law has a trainer, and so it's like the weakling versus the two power women.
I don't think she's weak at all.
All right. Then.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. Bye.
Bye. Flourish at 50. After 50.
Flourish after 50.
Yes.
One more time.
Flourish after 50.